fiddleheads. This is what you're looking for, probably roughly about this size. And I can see that nobody else has harvested any from this patch, so I'm going to just take a couple. So we want to make sure that we're harvesting only 1 or 2. Because again, we want to be practicing sustainable foraging. We don't want to decimate this plant. And if we only take 2, we're guaranteeing that this plant will come back next year. It is a perennial, comes back every year. Here's another patch. Fiddleheads are a springtime wild edible, so you won't find them any other time of the year other than spring, and they develop into full-size ferns fairly quickly. So you want to make sure that once the season starts, you get out there and you check your spots, because before you know it, they'll be full-size ferns. This is a great example of fiddleheads that are too far gone, so they're way too tall at this point, and they've begun to unravel. So these are what you don't want. This was a little bit disappointing for me to see today. So it looks like somebody did try to do some sustainable foraging when they harvested from this patch of ferns. Unfortunately, they took all the fiddleheads and only left 1 leaf. This means that this plant might not have the ability to photosynthesize and come back next year. So when we're foraging, we really want to make sure that we're only taking 1 or 2 from the patch, not taking all of them and only leaving 1. When we're IDing fiddleheads, we want to make sure that the plant is smooth, that it has this U-shaped groove inside the stalk, and that it has this brown papery material that can come off easily. You'll also notice that this is still curled pretty tightly. If this were to begin unraveling, or if it was already completely unraveled, we wouldn't want that. That means the plant's no longer good for consumption. And we also don't want the plant that we harvest to be greater than 6 inches tall. So this is a really good size. There are lots of species of inedible ferns, so you want to really make sure that you're taking the time to ID properly. But those are some key identifying features for these fiddleheads. Let's take a look at these ferns here. So we can see just based off of visual appearance that these are not the types of ferns that we're collecting today. We're going after the ostrich fern variety, and we can tell based off of the 3 main visual identifiers. As you can see, the stem is not smooth, and it's actually covered in this hair-like material. There is no U-shaped groove inside the stem, and there's also no brown papery material. These ferns are known as lady ferns, and while they are technically considered edible, they are also known to be mildly toxic, so they can cause nausea, dizziness, vomiting, that kind of thing. So if you do want to try these, you want to make sure that you cook them really, really well, and you only try them in small quantities at a time. And that way you can give your body a chance to see how it's going to react. I personally have never tried them, and I don't intend to. Ostrich fern fiddleheads are considered to be the choice edible here. These are known to be a little bit less tasty than the ostrich fern fiddleheads, so I'm going to stay away from them. I'm just going to let them be, but if you want to give them a try, go ahead. First, I'm going to give the fiddleheads a really good wash, and I'm going to remove the papery material that's stuck to the top of them. The papery material should be loose enough that it will fall off on its own, but there are some bits and pieces that do get stuck, so I'm just giving it a good wash to remove everything. Fiddleheads are really tasty. The best way for me to describe how they taste would be an earthy cross between asparagus and broccoli. Next, we're going to boil the fiddleheads in some salt water, and we're going to boil them for 15 minutes. We do this for a number of reasons, one of them being that it kills off any toxins that will make you sick. Raw and undercooked fiddleheads are not safe to eat, so we want to make sure that we're cooking them properly before we consume them. Another reason being that fiddleheads contain something called tannins, and tannins actually make the fiddleheads taste really bitter. So by boiling the fiddleheads, we're removing the tannins and we're improving the flavor. Today we're keeping it simple. We're just sautéing in some garlic butter, and they're going to be enjoyed as a side dish to my dinner tonight.